As Altina tries to move it forward and does get it ahead for Oberg. That is a contrasting forward pair. Oberg at 6'2", 210. Altina 5'7", $140. There's Randall behind the net. There was a high sticking call.
Yes, it was.
Nagley trying to play it along the far side. And it's carried out of the zone by Wendt. Dumps it in. Behind the net, Havelka. So we're 4-on-4 now. In 17 seconds, Johnson will be back out of the box for Coon Rapids, and they'll go back on the power play. It's been a special teams kind of opening to the first 6+ minutes of this second period. Spinning behind his own net is Setram. Back out to center, tipped into the zone by Brody Davidson. Johnson is out of the box. Havelka and Davidson go hard into the boards, and it's thrown off the back of the net. And now Bruner able to bring it ahead. Now Brent Johnson moving ahead of him, and Seth Johnson here on the near side. Bruner dumps it in. And it's thrown right back out again by Jake Samuelson as Brett Johnson couldn't get to him.
Well, Cardinals were getting a bit of a change at that point, and Tech took advantage of that. Didn't see anybody on the ice able to get it down, and Cardinals have to regroup.
Bruner throws it across for Brett Johnson. Goes around the check of Wendt. Johnson trying to spin and lay one out front. Lost it. It does pop back out front. And right there on top of it was Anchita, but he couldn't get a really good shot away. Now across for Nagley. 24 seconds remaining in the man advantage. The high sticking call to Reinholz. Now here's Johnson moving in. Trying to strong arm Setram. Now just peels back. Leaves it behind for Randall, but it's too far for him. Clearing attempt blocked. Comes back out to the blue line, held in again by Coon Rapids. Nice play at the line, and now here's Johnson down low. Pestered by Setram. Johnson able to dig it free. Seth Johnson back for Nagley. St. Cloud Tech back to full strength, and Nagley's shot deflected high off the glass. Reinholz right out of the box and into the action. Flips it ahead for Davidson. And it pops up into the Coon Rapids bench, and we're going to face off with 9:23 to go in the second period.
The Cardinals just with 3 shots on goal so far here in this second period, and again, troubles getting their offensive going, and they have 5 for the game, but you know, when you're down 5-0, you're going to have to find a way to pepper the goal, your opponent's goal, and Cardinals haven't been able to figure out how to open up space enough to get some good looks at the net.
Played around to the near side wall. Getting there first was Peterson as he beat Lawrence. Now moving through the middle is Garrett Day ahead for Lawrence, who tips it between the legs and into the zone. Althaus just watches it go wide of the net. 3 players collide behind the cage as Cody Crandall is forechecking hard. Look back out to center, and it would have been a 2-on-1 opportunity for Oberg and Altina. And then Oberg gets sandwiched and stays on his feet. What a big, strong kid. He just took 2 hard hits at once and really didn't flinch.
A tough young man.
Now they battle in the neutral zone. And into the Coon Rapids end was Keller, and a rebound chance and whistled down as Justin Oberg was busting in. Ball didn't have it, but the referee lost sight. Face off to his left.
Yeah, ball, you can see here the puck comes out. Didn't get the save cleanly, but as you mentioned, the official didn't see where that puck was, thought that Justin Ball had possession of it.
In the end, it was poked wide, so really no harm, no foul. Now in the corner. Controlled by Skaya. Played away by Bruner. And back into the zone comes Bates. And now Raker Rebke back out to neutral ice. Moving into the zone with Lucas Ruff. Controlled in the St. Cloud Tech end. Ruff trying to forecheck, throws a hit there on Peterson. Spun across to the near side, and out comes Connor Wendt. Wendt gains the line. There by Gervais. Number 4 in white, his first shift of the game. Laid back out to the point. The opposite, number 4, Jake Peterson. Barely left the ice. Thrown across by Wendt, and moving in hard was Mendel. Couldn't get the deflection in on net. Thrown back out in front off the side of the net. Just pinched up against the skirt of the net there by Ball.
Tech does a nice job of setting up their offense. They space and nicely, and they keep the lanes open. And you saw a couple of passes that could have led to opportunities, but again, you know, St. Cloud Tech doing a good job of controlling this hockey game. Really, at no point in this game has Coon Rapids held control of any period of time at this point.
Tie up off the draw. Pavelka just throws it to the corner. Wojciechowski pushes it ahead. Johnson trying to settle it down. Moving in one-on-one on that far side. Gets an angle, trying to throw it in front. And he was pestered just a little too much there by Shane Seifert, number 18, making his first appearance for St. Cloud Tech.
And Seifert did a nice job of staying with Seth Johnson and limiting the ability to get his stick free to take a shot.
Seifert, a little used defenseman for this team, but with a 5-goal lead. Coach Joel Heitkamp playing some players that don't normally get some time. St. Cloud Tech walks in here with a huge roster. They don't use many of them, really. We might see some unfamiliar names as this game goes on if it stays like this. Here's Randall, pinched along the far side by Joe Setram. Randall just trying to battle it free. Comes to Wojciechowski. He gets spilled. Penalty coming up. Johnson still trying to work it free. Pirouette in the middle there, and he ends up on the bottom of a 3-Tiger pileup in front of the net.
We'll see the action here is, again, where they called that penalty. They call it on.
I think it was a trip on Mendel. Took down Wojciechowski.
Well, you talked about the depth of St. Cloud's roster, and Coach Heitkamp, when I talked to him, said in the last few years they've been having trouble getting kids on their team, but really happy with the turnout this past year and this year. Of course, this is his first year as head coach. He was an assistant last year, but just great with the turnout.
Long range shot as Anchita was right there. Now it's batted out of the air. And is that one going to count? There has been no signal from the referee, but they're celebrating like it's a goal, and the officials are going to talk it over. Johnson hit it once and then hit it again. Was his stick above the crossbar?
Well, that's what the thing is. We'll take another look at it. Where was his stick when he put that one into the net?
Oh, it was coming down.
Close.
That's a tough call. The officials don't have the benefit of this replay.
No.
They're just going to have to go on what they saw. That looks like it is actually below. We'll see. Well, Coon Rapids celebrating like they're on the board. I think they are. Seth Johnson with his 7th of the year ties him for the team high. And it's going to be disputed, but it's going to count. And it does look like it's below the crossbar. Yep. The stick goes above, comes back down, and knocks it in.
Yeah, before he made contact with the puck, it did look like it was below that crossbar. So that will be Seth Johnson's 7th goal. Of course, they haven't put it up on. Oh, they just put it up on the scoreboard. So we are at 5-1 now in favor of St. Cloud Tech. A little bit of satisfaction for Coon Rapids. Obviously, still four goals down.
Well, you got to get one before you can get 5.
Absolutely.
And Johnson's right back at it again, leads it back for Randall. And I think in the end, the officials did get that one right. It's a very tough call to make when you don't get to see it a couple of times. We're all used to NHL games where they look at it for 20 minutes and then they make the call. They don't have that in high school. As here comes Peterson again, shoots one off the skates of Hafner. And still forechecking the defenseman. Bruner leaves it, and then it's spiked back out to center off the stick of Wendt. Now Peterson turning at his own blue line. Moves it ahead for Riley Bates, who dumps it in deep. It's left there by Ball. Bruner turns it back around to the near side wall. There was nobody there except for Justin Oberg, who plays it back out to the point. Now Wendt fires one through a crowd, and kicking out of pad is Ball. Nice save as that puck was deflected down. Now Ruff turns it over at the St. Cloud Tech line, and then taking a hit to get it in deep with Braden Altina.
Well, Charlie, we'll see if that goal gives the Cardinals a little bit of energy here. As you mentioned, you got to get that first goal before you can make a comeback, but we'll see what kind of energy Coon Rapids comes in here now.
Long shot, pad stop. As that one came off the stick of Lucas Ruff, looking for his first goal of the year. Ruff moving in, throwing a hit. He's been one of the few players really on either side that has played very physical in this game. I can remember him throwing a couple of hits, and he hasn't been out there all that much. Anchita dumps it in deep. Picked up by Joe Setram on the far side, and he gets barreled into by Steven Brasheko. And that turns the puck over. Altina trying to throw it into the middle, or rather Anchita, pardon me. And Brasheko gets dumped in front of the net. That's going to be an interference call against Setram. And Setram's upset with the hit on the far side, which was perfectly legal. And he comes back and does this.
Yeah, you know, and it's right in front of the official, and that's a foolish penalty. You know, granted, you're up 5-1, so you've got a little breathing room here, but it's a foolish penalty because you do not want to let Coon Rapids back into this hockey game if you're St. Cloud Tech. And there you see Seatram, one of the seniors on this squad, going to take a seat in the box.
Second minor penalty of the day for him. Now they battle in the corner, comes back out to the point. Bruner holds it in. Maneuver, stick handles, fires one that's deflected wide. Nagley trying to go back out to the point, gets it back, battling there with Bates, and they're able to hold it in again. Now Nagley back down low. Johnson from a shallow angle, and holding his post well was Althouse, and then he covers it up.
Now, how important would it be if Coon Rapids could knock one here on this power play opportunity and, you know, cut that to a 3-goal lead? Then, you know, you get a little bit of hope going into if they can see what they do. There's only 4 minutes remaining in this period, but you certainly have a third period ahead of you as well.
Well, you look at the stats, and St. Cloud Tech's penalty killing is really one of the things that they don't necessarily do very well. They do most everything else at least better than average, and you've got to take advantage of your chances here as this one bounces all the way back down. Bruner takes it behind his net, pestered there by Oberg, who falls down on the play. Bruner just leaves it again, and now Anchita comes back to pick it up. To the near side, too far for Randall. This will be icing if it gets all the way over the red line. It does, but Peterson was right on top of it, so they wave it off. And he's just going to stick handle it back out to center. Maybe Coon Rapids would like the icing at this point. Here comes Peterson maneuvering into the zone, firing it wide. Here's Anchita on the far side. Steps around an Oberg check, leaves it for Randall. 3-on-3 as they hit the St. Cloud Tech line. Randall trying to go around Went, and does. Maneuvers behind the net, didn't have anybody in front. Now Johnson for Nagley. Johnson in the corner. Back out to Nagley, the 2 co-leading scorers now for this Coon Rapids team with 7 apiece on the season. Thrown in front, poked away from Anchita. Bruner steps into one, and he fired it right into the equipment of Davis Reinholz, who just chops it back down the ice and goes for a change. Stretch pass here for Anchita. He leaves it for Raker Repke. Repke circling the net. In the corner, this is Seth Johnson tied up by Wendt. Anchita comes to help out, but Wendt able to win the puck away. Then it was poked off his stick right on net. Easily steered aside by Althouse, and Bruner along the far side is able to hold it in. Raker Repke, top of the circle, throws it down low for Johnson. Hopped his stick, comes around the net, throws it in front, and they slam it home on the far side. It's Wilfred Raker Repke with his first of the year. It's a full-strength, even-strength goal for Coon Rapids, but it's 5-2, and here they come.
Yeah, it's a big goal for Coon Rapids, and Wilfred Raker Repke was right there. You're going to see it here as it's going to come behind the net, and a nice job to put it out in front by Johnson, his second point of the night. And there you see the goal by Coon Rapids to cut it to 5-2.
Well, you don't get much more room to shoot at than that.
You know, those are the kind of things that you better put home when you have that kind of opportunity.
And when you don't have any goals on the year, you shoot as hard as you can on an empty net, and that's what Raker Repke did. He blasted it in from about 4 feet. So 5-2. And Coon Rapids, all of a sudden, just trying to eke their way back into this game and doing a nice job of it. Flipped back into the zone by Joshua Lawrence. Here comes Mendel to neutral ice, turns it over, comes back to Setram. And Setram was out of the box when that goal was scored, but he really wasn't back into play yet. So it's one of those even-strength power play goals, he called it.
Cardinals will take it whether it's even strength or on the power play because they need goals at this point. You know, you got to give them credit because the team could have folded down 5-0, but not Coon Rapids here. They've come back with a couple of goals to make a game of it.
Johnson with a big hit along the far side to take down Brody Davidson. Now here's Hafner turning at his own blue line, flips it off the wall. Setram skate to stick there and gets it ahead to Skaya. We haven't seen much of Skaya in this second period. Turning with it and firing was Bates. Now Johnson back the other way for Coon Rapids. Dances around a check. Here comes Seth Johnson, and it's off the blocker of Althouse and into the netting. Big chance there for the Cardinals.
Well, Charlie, you can see the energy pick up for Coon Rapids after that first goal. Again, Johnson, the leading scorer for this club, going to beat the defender to the puck. And that one high off of the goaltender.
Yeah, got a chance to pick his spot, try to go high to the near side, and credit Althouse. That's a tough save with the blocker to go up high like that. Randall plays it across to the near side. Poked out to center by Wykenot. Here's Went, 57 seconds remaining in the second period, which has really flown by here. Now Randall moving into the zone for Coon Rapids. Can they try to find one more and make this a game before the third period starts? Blasted in by Nagley, and that one is deflected high. Whitekanot holds it into the zone, but not for long, and now back comes Went, and Whitekanot went down. They got a 2-on-1 here, and the pass to the far side too far for Skaya, and then he just fired it through the top of the crease. 30 seconds remaining in the period. Skaya behind the net, leaves it for Bates. Bates gets pinned off by Nagley, and Randall able to move it ahead. Just trying to battle it out of the zone, and Randall will just regroup. Nagley on the far side, now plays it across for Whitekanot. Dumps it in deep, Went scoops it back out again. And Went picks it up, 4 seconds remaining in the period, and he'll just flip it out of the zone. Bates touches it ahead, fired back in by Riker Repke. And that's the end of the period. Well, 2 goals apiece here in the second, and we're right back where we started when we ended the first. It's St. Cloud Tech leading by 3.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Welcome back to Coon Rapids Ice Center. Here we're now joined by Cardinals head coach Brandon Molesky. Coach, second half of the second period, definitely some sparks flying for you guys. What was it that got you 12 second period goals, and now you guys are finally on the board trailing by 3?
Yeah, you know, the first half of the second period was a lot like the first period, and you know, at least I think that power play goal from Johnson there kind of sparked the team a little bit and got some intensity and energy, and then we kind of used that momentum in the offensive end to our advantage the rest of the second period, and hopefully we can continue that in the third.
Now you're kind of back where you were between the first and second period, down by 3 now. What's the message to the guys in the locker room with that momentum now that they're on the board?
I mean, we're still down 3, so we got to tune up the aggression. I mean, the way we were playing the last 6-7 minutes, we got to do that for 17 now, and we can't really let up at any point, you know, because we got a long way back. We put ourselves in a really bad hole, and at least we got the momentum now. And you know, I think the next goal is going to be really, really big if we can kind of get that maybe first 3, 4, 5 minutes of this third period. I think it's going to be a different game. And
lastly, before I let you go, if there's one thing you could pick to hold your opponent, St. Cloud Tech, to, what would it be?
If I could pick anything, it'd be no goals and no shots, and towards the second half of that period, we were putting a lot of pressure on their defensemen. We weren't really doing that in the first period. You know, they had a lot of time back there. We were coasting in on them, and once we put a little pressure on them, and you know, both our goals are, you know, from 2-3 feet away, and that's where we're going to have to score the rest of our goals the rest of the game, and create a little chaos around the goalie. And you know, he's starting to let up some rebounds every time we're shooting the puck, so we got to get to the net. Great, thanks so much, Coach. Appreciate it. Cardinals trail St. Cloud Tech by 3, 5-2. As we go into the third period, we come back. Howie and Charlie. That's Charlie. We'll have stats and highlights from the first half.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown. Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty. Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families, united. Even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Sir, could you step over here, please? Is there anything you want to tell me?
Like what?
Like maybe you're out to protect the environment?
Give scholarships to kids, fight blindness, help the elderly, feed the hungry?
Well, I only ask because you got a little lion in you.
See? Right there.
Right next to
whatever that other thing is.
And welcome back inside the Coon Rapids Ice Center. And 5-2 after 2 periods. St. Cloud Tech leading Charlie Beattie along with Howie Shapiro. And you heard Brandon Molesky say it. They need to bring that effort that they had in the second half of that second period for 17 minutes.
Well, it's all about energy, and we talked about that earlier. And you saw after that goal, that power play goal by Seth Johnson, a little bit of energy came onto the Coon Rapids sideline. But Coach Molesky made a great point. Coming out quick in that third period, they're going to have to play with that same kind of intensity they played in the last 6-7 minutes. And it's imperative that they score first and cut that goal, this lead to a 2-goal lead.
I'll take a look at the game summary here. The highlights of the second period. There was an early goal from Peterson as he went through a crowd, and it was a deflection by Skaya. Here's the Peterson goal. That one also through a crowd. All of a sudden, it was 5-0. And without that early slump, Coon Rapids looking at a very different game. Now, this is the disputed goal, and the more we look at it, the more we think maybe high stick from Seth Johnson, but that got him on the board at 5-1. And then this one, a very nice play by Johnson driving the net. Bounces it out in front for Raker Repke to just blast it in.
Yeah, the Cardinals will take that goal, quite obviously, high stick or not. But, you know, you just have to be a little concerned that the fact they get themselves into a hole like that. You don't give up that turnover for their third goal in that first period. And now it's a little different contest. It's a 2-goal lead coming into the third period.
You can see lots of Coon Rapid fans here hoping for a 5-goal comeback. Right now it's a 3-goal comeback. 5-2, St. Cloud Tech leading after 2.
I was 46.
I was just 42.
I was 46.
I was 45 when a mammogram found my cancer.
Found my cancer.
Found my cancer.
And helped save my life.
Mammograms can catch cancer early when it's most treatable.
Experts recommend that even women with no family history of breast cancer begin annual mammograms at age 40.
Please talk to your doctor about a mammogram today.
Mammography saves lives. One of them may be yours. Visit mammographySavesLives.org.
There you see the Cardinal Band getting things done here in between periods. Alongside Howie Shapiro, I'm Charlie Beattie. Jay Ingber handling all the interviews for us here today, and it's been an entertaining game so far, and almost a game of 2 halves at this point.
It really has, and it certainly didn't start out that way for Coon Rapids. Obviously, falling into a 5-0 hole makes it difficult for any squad to dig out, but you know, you have to give credit to the Coon Rapids Cardinals in terms of getting a little energy back, scoring a couple of goals, and now making a game of it. And you will see, Charlie Beattie, you will see pictures of this game and many others on Facebook. If people out there haven't had an opportunity to go to our Facebook page, please do so. Like us, because we always love to be liked. Maybe you'll find pictures of your friends or tag us, and if you haven't had an opportunity to do so, Facebook, CTN site on Facebook.
I think Jay is on Facebook right now.
He is on Facebook.
That's the life of a sideline reporter.
Exactly.
All that time off. Those guys are all on Facebook right now. You see some of the, I believe that's the St. Cloud Tech JV players who lost their game earlier today.
They did.
Coon Rapids team was able to take it in the pregame warm-up, I guess, if you will, the opening act.
Yeah, certainly the varsity would like to follow suit here in the varsity game here with third period coming up. We're also on Twitter. We have a big social media presence through CTN Studios, and if you have an opportunity to follow us, please do so. And we will tweet out game scores, everything we're doing here at CTN Studios. So follow us on Twitter at CTN Studios.
Well, 5-2 here as we wait for the teams to come out for the third period. A lot of the kids along the hallway there waiting to welcome the Coon Rapids Cardinals back to the ice. We've got referees. We just don't have any players right now.
It would help to have the players on the ice. Can't do much without any players here.
Watching referees is not that exciting. As Coon Rapids comes back out, led by Justin Ball. That's how people entertain themselves in between periods. And you could put that video on YouTube.
Well, we put a lot of